I didn't really delete the previous revolve. So if I go to show and I show surfaces, you'll still see it there. And also if you go to the other windows, you'll see it there. So let's just select that only and delete it. And now let's see what we can do with our revolve. So remember, now we changed the pivot point. And remember, when we create it, it'll create the center point around around the origin here. So it's always going to do it in the origin scene by default unless you change that. And so we can just reposition because it's using the world space for creation, but then after that we can change that. It's really the local axis that it's going to revolve around. So if I go to surface revolve now, you'll notice that now it is acting the way it's supposed to. So now it's revolved around that center part there, and there is my revolved set there. So another thing, let's take a look at a couple of other tools. I'm going to delete this curve for a second, and let's go ahead and create a arc. So if you look at the create tool curves, the only other two options here are a 3-point curve or a 2-point curve. So you'll notice I can go ahead and create a curve based on 3 points, and then the last one. So I create the first one to start it, the second one for the radius, and then I can swing that around, and I can still edit that and make another thing. So one of the things too we can do is we can attach curves together. So let's say that we wanted to create another shape, right? And I'll go ahead and create. Let's just go ahead and create another CV curve. So I'll go ahead and create curve, CV curve, and then I'll just I can snap it to the end of the other curve here by hitting C, and then you'll notice how I'm constraining it to the curve, and I'll just go to the end part here, and then I'll click from point to point. So previously I had done the V key, which snaps it to a vertex, and then I can use the X to kind of put it to an end there. So I'll hit the return there, and now I can revolve both of these independently, but really what I want to do is attach these two. So if I go ahead and go to edit curves, or just curves rather, you'll notice there's an attach option here. So you'll notice it attached the two. It sort of rounded this off here, and let's go to the object here. Let's go into the curve. So if you look at the curve options now, curves also have history on them. So the original curves still exist. If I edit those in any way, it's going to affect the output of that object that I made. So let's go back and select this object here, and we'll go back to attribute editor here. On the side, a little hard to see the way I have my screen set up here, but we'll go to this curves 1, attach curves 1. Now you'll notice the blending can be either blend or connect. So if I go to connect, then it's going to make just kind of that harsh transition rather than smoothing it. So that's just kind of how you can edit curves. Different types of curves can be attached together, and you using the different method of either blending or attaching.